Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? So I found some logging going on in one of my local riding areas. And one of my favorite trails is actually just up over there, which I'll have to get my two-stroke to go explore it. Might have to do a little cleanup on it. But they actually left it reasonably neat. I've been looking around and it's a lot tidier than the last logging, so that's encouraging. And they left some really awesome roads down below, so I thought we'd go explore them. And I got the big 690 all loaded up. I got the drone on the back there in the little backpack, so let's load her up and go for a little rip. So I found one of my sneaky old trails. You had to make your way through some logging, but this is a gnarly little cobble. Keep your momentum up, you guys, for this, and stand on your pegs and let the bike do what it wants. One finger on the clutch for me right now, and just kind of let it bounce around on its own. And it'll just kind of find its own way, in it, so to speak. I'm surprised I can get this far. I see a lot of trees cut, like these logs here are cut, so someone's keeping this open. Very cool little trail. I'll be excited when we get a bunch more rain and it gets nice and damp and we can get in here with the little two-strokes. It'll be a fun little road. It's almost a single track even though it's a double track. Beautiful up in here. Wow. This is Canadian forest at its thickest or finest. Oh, there's a nice one to run into. Getting into some thick cedar trees, like on the west coast. They have a lot of those. So we came up on a couple suspended ones, and they're pretty tall. We'll give it a go here. Nice. Sometimes those things don't bend down and you end up getting hung up and the bike, yeah, it's not fun. But those ones are flexible, so woohoo. So I got just a maze of roads going on here. They've got logging going on there and they've cut into the new and old trail, and it's just, without my GPS here, I would have been kind of up the creek without a paddle, as they say. There's a bit of a log here in the trail. It's kind of the same principle. A couple videos ago I did that how-to on, the trials technique, how they kind of just, you aim for about just above the halfway, anywhere's above halfway. Is like I usually aim about 3/4 of the way up it. And you just want to glance your tire off it and keep the power steady and just watch that you don't get bucked over the handlebars when the rear suspension covers it, or touches it. You could pretty much wheelie right over these as well. If you give a good push down, you can actually do that. See, I kind of wheelied over it. And then it's called a double blip. The trials guys, I guess, invented that. I'm not totally sure, but what a beautiful day. Wow. I'm curious if there's a little creek over here. In the spring it's a big river, but this time of year, there might not even be any water flowing. It's not quite fall yet here. It's close. September 1st. No, it doesn't look like there's much. It's a trickle. Still pretty though. You can see how big it gets in the spring. It's a huge, raging river. Yeah, it's so big it washed the bank out here when we had that big one last year. Nice. Found some cool fields down in here. I think what we'll do is throw the drone up and it continues around the bend there, and we'll see if we can get it to follow us. Tell you guys, having a dual sport like a 690 or whatever your dual sport may be, it's nice to be able to get out with all your luggage and your lunch and all your goodies on there. It's nice to have the extra power of the bigger bikes. Wheelie that front tire over all the danger obstacles. So mentioned down here in the old back end of the 690 we got the Motos. This is just the hybrid. Let's see, I don't know, it's not the Extreme. It's just the mountain hybrid version. So I think that means it's a little bit harder rubber than the Extreme, but I've got a good bunch of rides, and I wasn't easy on it on these last couple rides, and you know, typical edge is worn off a little bit, if you can see that, but no big deal. And they are street legal too, like they got the DOT stamp somewhere on here on the other side, I think. So yeah, that's a pretty wicked tire, I think, for the dual sports. So pretty cool field I found my way down in here. Actually, back in the old days, high school, on that level spot you can see up there, there actually used to be a little old cabin, or the remains of a cabin. They used to gold pan in this area. We used to come up and have our bush parties there every weekend. They were quite big ones, like hundreds of people. So that's kind of a funny memory. I can remember I had an XR 500 back in those days, and I did a smoke show inside that cabin and just about choked myself out. I had to actually abandon the bike. I wasn't thinking, you know, younger and doing a smoke show, you're being cool, right? But I inhaled so much smoke I just about couldn't find my way out of the cabin. Not one of my smarter moments as a youth, but we live and learn, I suppose. See these nice little logs? This is what I was telling you guys about in my last video, or a couple videos ago, how you find a nice open area and a real small log and just practice going up to it and just do a little hop, skip, and a jump. See, nice to practice there. Well, that's going to wrap it up for me, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Kind of a cool spot down in this valley. Make sure you guys drop some comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button and also the subscribe button. That way you know when I put out a new video. And below the description you'll see my social media links, and just like the picture here, the little drop down arrow, there's all my social media, and my Patreon's there where a few people chip in and, you know, buy me a beer, some gas for the bike or something. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.